king to Alan Kaydick. Here's Alan for the triple three.
Kaydick.
And Alan really waxing hot there, even though the Guzman.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my official YouTube channel. First of all, gusto ko lang po magpasalamat sa lahat ng mga nanood, nag-comment at bumati nung birthday ng anak ko nung last episode ko. At dahil dyan, isi-shoutout ko si The Kick Your Way Up, Mr. Cool, Mark Romeral, Net Acuña, Maximino Del Rosario, Recreation and Profiles TV, The Collector 2020, Batang Pinoy TV, Joven Yu o Joven Uy, Cleo Evangelista, Carmelo Lopez, JV Pak, Jan Katap, Ren Castro, Rolando Canonoy, Codename Makoy, Violeta Del Prado, Risa Libres, Ron Por, Manny Agoncillo, Hobart Ibarra, El De Leon, System Shortcuts, Van Ho D40, Entertainment Sports and More, Eric Ang, Arnel San Juan, Ballhag TV, Albert Garimbao, Dikis Rubiano, Random, Jocelyn Malabanan, Ray Alonsagay, Speaker for the Dead, Ruel Cambronero, Christian Kenneth Otyong, Harold Sambo. So guys, for this episode, ang ipapakita ko po sa inyo is yung pong 1992 PBA First Conference, laban po ng Presto Ice Cream at Swift Mighty Meaties. Dito po makikita nyo yung dalawang imports na maglalaban. Sa amin po is si Tank Collins na very athletic. Sa kabila naman po is yung prolific scorer na si David Henderson. Plus ito po ang first game ni Vergel Meneses as a pro. So sama-sama po nating panoorin.
Kaydick, 3 points.
Mighty Meaty Hot Dogs. Collins, I think, will be playing in the backcourt while together with Al Solis. So you can see that they're taking this game very importantly. The Swiss Mighty Meaties have not won this year if you count the exhibition games that they played without their import, and he comes in with the first 2 points of the ball game.
That's Henderson, the import of the Swift Mighty Meetings. The referees for this ball game, by the way, referees Leon Chua and Maglaya.
And the first foul of the season, Curtis, coming from Al Solis as he used his knees there to try to stop the driving play of Gerard Esplana, former PBA Rookie of the Year.
David Henderson is taking on Bob Hawkins, while Nelson Asaitona has been assigned to watch Tank Collins. And there's going to be a foul called on Nelson Asaitona. Watch the movement here between Asaitona and Collins. Quite fast. Collins, they're getting away from Nelson Asaitona, who scrambled after him.
Well, there were actually 2 fouls. The first one was the knee foul and the one up in the air. Now, the first thing that he did not notice, siyempre pare, at this point, he's still trying to see what is the strong side of this player. Right. He has not seen him play. No? And the guy went right through the baseline, went through the right strongly. He faked him off going to the left, and Asaitona bit. So when he went by the right side, he was gone. So the imports coming up with the first points of the ball game, and we'll have a scramble here with the Guzman saving the ball from going out.
Half a minute gone by here in this ball game. Andy de Guzman going through the motions after picking up a foul from Alan Kaydick.
So it's an opportunity as we take a look at this slow-mo for the Guzman to get a 3-point play. Had a very outstanding series with the Chinese national team. The Guzman coming off with a renewal of contract mid-season last year. Slumped down a little bit, just like any player, but is now coming back here with a vengeance in this conference.
3-point play by Andy de Guzman. The Swift Mighty Meaties have a 4-point lead at 5-1. Alan Kaydick momentarily open. De Guzman jumping up. Kaydick wide off the mark. Al Solis with a lead pass to Andy de Guzman. As fans watching him. Open shot to Mark Nelson as I thought he couldn't handle it. Got it on the second try.
A big break for him because he was not really going for a follow-up shot. He was going for an offensive rebound, but he tapped the ball through the glass and it went in to give the Swiss Mighty Meaties a commanding 6-point lead.
7-1 is the count. Goal post play by Alan Kaidik is underneath. Faked off Henderson. And Kaidik gets his first 2 points of the season.
Well, the shootingest player in the league, Alan Kaidik, certainly has a lot of moves, not only from the outside, but from the in, as Henderson comes up with a fadeaway shot to get his 4th point of the ball game.
Definitely a very impressive first couple of minutes here for David Henderson, the import of the Swift Mighty Meaties. Had a close-range shot earlier and now popped from the outside. Hank Collins, and there's a steal by David Henderson off Long Hawkins.
Nice
Henderson
pass.
off the net as I thought.
Beautiful play here by Henderson, showing his experience.
Well, you did say, Dr. J, that you were impressed by David Henderson when you saw him in 1986 back in the States in his first year in the NBA.
Well, the point is, the years may have affected somebody's qualities, but obviously at this point he's so relaxed here and the experience is working for him. No?
Alan Kaidik drills one in from left of the key. Well, just for the information of basketball watchers and fans, David Henderson actually had a sad experience in his first few practice games. Suffered a cut, I believe.
Yes, a 7-inch cut in a collision with Terry Saldana. But this game is something else, and I've covered a lot of games, 11 years actually, and very few times will you see a first game where the shooting percentages are high in the first quarter. But for the Swiss Mighty Meaties, it's terrific here in the first quarter of play.
Look at Reyes Plata, although he missed that shot. That was a gutsy move. Again, a fast break too late. No shot as I thought of getting on the second chance point.
And the PRESTO Ice Cream team certainly needed a timeout. They asked for the buzzer, but the ball had been thrown in. And so it will continue to go as we have a running violation called there against Kaidik.
There's the timeout.
Timeout, PRESTO Ice Cream team.
It's easy. If you talk about the locals, well, as I don't know, and of course, Distrito would be the main cog, but both of these guys are talented players, and we know for a fact that most of the teams have been practicing as early as the 2nd week of January, so that's been quite a while that they've had the opportunity. As you see, an offensive foul called here against Jack Tanuan for setting up an illegal pick for his teammate David Henderson.
And David Henderson immediately talks to Jack Tanuan so they could get their act together. An early timeout was called by Coach Jimmy Mariano of the PRESTO Ice Cream Kings in an effort to regroup his squad. They're now down by 10 points at 15-5 with 8:42 to go in the first quarter. Jerry Espana rifles it over to Alan Kaidik for the first triple D of the 1992 season.
And Kaidik cuts down that 10-point lead to 7. 15-8 is the count. We have 6:25 left here in the first quarter. Henderson coming out of that pick there.
Working against Collins, had to dish it out to Alzones, who tries to retaliate from Rainbow Country, but fails. Here's Kaidik inside. Andy de Guzman bumping into him.
And we have a foul called on de Guzman.
First person on Andy de Guzman. You see that here as Alan Kaidik tries to penetrate. Andy de Guzman gets in front of him. Tight pass. Nelson Saitono had something to do with that out-of-bounds situation.
They tried an alley-oop play here for Derwin Tank Collins, so obviously he must have good vertical leaping ability in practice. If not, they would not give him that kind of a play,
True. Kaidik being shadowed once again by Andy de Guzman. Realubot working against Tanuan. Good fake. But the ball bounces out, and Henderson passes it to the wrong man. Jerry Esplana can't get it to drop.
So Henderson picks up 2 defensive rebounds and with a nice pass there.
What a pass by David Henderson. He's certainly displaying a lot of basketball savvy early in the ball game, Dr. J.
Yes, and I think a lot of experience. At the same time, he seems to have a lot of leadership qualities as he's talking to his teammates consistently,
That's right. Another fast break play in the offing. Nelson Asaitono gets Collins up in the air. Asaitono gets bottled up, and Jerry Esplana will be called for a foul.
Now that was a great defensive job there on the block against Nelson Asaitono after the fake. Esplana, not a very tall player with good timing. However, he comes up with a foul as Asaitono picks up the ball and goes for a possible follow-up shot.
7:27 to go in the first period of this ball game. Nelson Asaitono visiting the free throw line for the first time.
He already has 9 points in this ball game. Majority of them are follow-up shots of misses there by Andy de Guzman. Nelson Aceitono, certainly a great acquisition here for the Swift's Mighty Meaty Hot Dogs, who needed a power forward to help out in the event that Joey Villamin cannot return. And at the same time, you have a 6'4" player who's very young and very powerful, no?
You will remember, of course, that Joey Villamin has been hounded by injuries, recurrent injuries at that. Out of bounds play in favor of the Swift, or rather of the, that's right, Swift Mighty Meaties. Count at 19-8 in favor of Swift. David Henderson bringing it up. And Paul Hawkins.
Yes, forcing him into an error. Hawkins playing the power forward position is now replaced by veteran Abe King. Hawkins get his game going. He tried to post up David Henderson and couldn't really get much offensive sack for himself, no?
There's the pass to Jerry Esplan down low. Zaldarino gets blocked by Aceitono. Jerry Espana tries it. Espana certainly has not regained his shooting hand as yet.
We'll have a loose ball foul, partner, on Ria Lubit. That will be his first personal foul, the third team foul called against the Presto Ice Cream Kings. The Swift Mighty Meaty Hot Dogs have 4 in this first quarter of play.
Al Solis has it for Swift. Solis is fouled.
Well, you know, Collins so far has not displayed any of the type of play that an import is expected. He has not been able to score well. He did get 1 point from the free throw line on a drive. And of course, as the public knows, their first choice was Mike McGee, who used to play for the Lakers and the Atlanta Hawks, an older player, a shooter, but he was not able to come. And so they had to pick up somebody as soon as possible. Of course, they might have other people in mind, no, as a possible replacement later on. We'll have Onchi de la Cruz coming into the ball game for Esplana.
Al Solis from the free throw line. And it is 21-8. Another foul given up here
on Andy de Guzman. That's the second. He has the tough job of having to guard the rifleman, shooting his player in the league, Alan Kaidik, and at the same time try to score. No?
Pat Collins hesitated for a while, now decides to dish it off instead of going straight to the hole. But Lady Luck smiles on them. They keep possession.
I don't think it was a bad move. See, he had some people meeting him, so that was a good pass. It was for Ria Lubit to pick it up and lay it in.
But the pass was a bit low. Down to Ria Lubit. Well, a lot of fans welcoming Rudy Distrito onto the hardcourt, donning the his new uniform, that of the Swift Mighty Meaties out of Ginebra, San Miguel.
And sporting a new number 14. No?
Used to carry number 17.
That's right. Hard drive to the basket by Abe King, but no success. Good steal by Kaidik.
Alan Kaidik had the momentum, and he has 9 of the 10 points so far scored by the Swift, or rather by the Presto Ice Cream Kings.
But they're still down by 11 points. The biggest lead of this ball game has been 13 so far. Henderson tried to post up against his counterpart. He's beat on a one-on-one play against another top player, De La Cruz.
They've been at it for quite some time. Onchi De La Cruz and Jack Calhoun getting entangled in midair. Onchi will be slapped with his first personal foul. Here's the action once again.
Big break here as the ball falls for Tanuan underneath the basket. There's the foul by De La Cruz, which will send Jack Tanuan to the 4.5-meter line.
Jack Tanuan makes his first. Jack Tanuan is one of those players who seemingly had arrived in the 1991 season as he moved off to this squad.
Well, the transfer of Tanuan from the Purefoot Hot Dogs, where he played second fiddle to Jericho Piñera, certainly has worked wonders for him. It has improved his confidence. He's a natural center with good talent, but could not be exploited in a super-studded team. No? Maybe the same thing could happen here for Nelson Aceitono, who's having a great game so far.
Ria Lubit and Jack Tanuan went up for the ball together, and Jack Tanuan picks up foul number 2. There's still a glare on the scoreboard, but if I can make it out right, both squads already have 16 fouls. Or 5 for Presto.
Yes, and
That's
6
one.
for the Swiss Mighty Meaty Hut. We have 5:20 left here. Of course, the sunlight is still getting to that scoreboard right there. No, we have a full packed NASA Coliseum.
It is now known as the National Academy of Sports Arena. Turnover here in favor of the Mighty Meaties. Blind pass by Rudy De Silva, picked up by Collins. He steps on the baseline, says referee De Leon. Good afternoon, Philippines. This is the first day of the 1992 season of the Philippine Basketball Association. And picks on together with Andy Howe covering the action for you. Here's the streak off. There's that familiar one-on-one match against Onchi de la Cruz. Henderson missing that one. Terry Sandaya keeping it alive. Abe King trying to save it at the sideline, but referee Chua says he steps on the sideline. 5:01 to go in the first quarter of this ball game.
Swiss Mighty Meaties enjoying a commanding 13-point lead and continue to have possession of the ball.
Distrito over to Al Solis. Nelson Saitono. Off balance shot.
The fourth shot.
Loose ball picked up by Terry Saldana. Now we're seeing a lot of competitive moves. Earlier on in the ball game, the Swiss Mighty Meaties ran roughshod over the Presto Ice Cream Kings, working like a well-oiled machine. But now, probably belatedly, the opening day jitters are finally dawning on them.
And at the same time, they're beginning to take some poor shot selections. The Tivoli has scored only 2 points in the last 3.5 minutes, so obviously it does not speak well for their offense. At the same time, like you mentioned earlier, Kaidik only has 9 to 10, no?
Right.
So only 1 point coming from another player.
That's Collins missing on the drive. He had the other 1 point, as you mentioned. King off to De La Cruz. Alan Kaidik gets past 2 Mighty Meaties and he's off again to score. The offense certainly is lacking since Alan Kaidik has been taking the brunt of everything on the offensive side for the Ice Cream Kings.
Kaidik has been so creative in this first quarter of the ball game.
He's done everything. Defensively and offensively. Collins with a good tap. Alvarez with 5 seconds on the shot clock with a triple V missing. Distrito gets blocked. And the ball goes out of bounds in favor of the Swiss Mighty Meaties. Well, this certainly is an action-packed ball game. We have a timeout, though. Mighty Meaties and the Presto Ice Cream Kings. Well, certainly the sellout crowd here at the Ultra is getting their money's worth as Nelson Saitono is caught for traveling. Right at the very first game, a lot of action has already been seen, although we have an 11-point advantage being enjoyed by the Swift Mighty Meaties.
Well, there was a very nice confrontation there of power play between Abe King and Nelson Saitono earlier. And we have the Ice Cream Kings trying to get back into this ball game, trying to get their import into the flow of the offensive game. No?
Well, Onsi de la Cruz trying to get into the scoring circle of things.
And that ball, I think, was helped in by a lot of people going up for the shot. It might have to be credited with King, no?
Well, they credited it to
yes, with some of the Swiss Mighty Meaties jumping up and down in a nice play.
Leaving Alvarez wide open underneath. And Swift Mighty Meaties continue to pour it on here in the first quarter of the game. Very Pat Collins, as Andy mentioned, has yet to get into the flow of things. Alan Kaidik, however, has gotten his second 3-point basket. Just feet away ahead of the pack. Gets fouled inside the paint. That's the second personal on Onsi de la Cruz and the strict team foul for the Presto Ice Cream Kings.
Well, that's why you like Rudy Distrito, because he is a player that can poke. In other words, he can also play with his back towards the basket. He can face basket, and he will have the same kind of drive. And he does have a pretty accurate free throw shot, so fouls on that area will usually mean that he will go to the 4.5-meter line. Eric Reyes coming in for Nelson Asaitono, who obviously is a tired player by now. Eric Reyes, a draftee from the amateur ranks, his first-round pick of the Swift Mighty Meaty Hot Dogs.
Well, Eric Reyes certainly is expected to beef up the Swift Mighty Meaties. A lot of is expected of him. Was one of those outstanding amateur players back in the PBL and collegiate league days.
And we'll have a foul called on Distrito
Foul, Distrito.
for going after Kaidik, who was using the pick. They are in the penalty, so Alan Kaidik will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, the big.
Well, since Coach Yang Giao has sent in his first rookie, Coach Junior Mariano responds with his own neophyte player in Joey Valdez.
The foul was against, it was against their import, Hank Collins. It was Distrito trying to fight the screen being provided by Collins, and he barged into Collins' chest. So Collins with only 1 point, splitting his charities earlier, getting his second point. He has had no field goal so far in this ball game.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, Derwin Tag Collins is actually a replacement for Mike McGee, and he stands as the shortest import in the league so far at 6'2" and 5/8 inches. Of course, the ceiling here is at 6 feet 5 inches.
And under.
Yes.
We have Collins picking up Henderson, who's surveying the field, trying to get it off to his teammates.
Eric Reyes off to Rudy Distrito. Distrito getting away. 4 seconds on the shot clock. And it's outside for Presto.
Rudy Distrito trying too much to be a one-on-one player and not getting the ball to his teammate in that play. Collins had his teammate Henderson had positioned well for a pass against Collins, but he decided to go around him and go the back route, and he was stopped in that play.
Onto de la Cruz getting inside. No look pass was wide, intended for Joey Valdez. Lead pass to Henderson, driving strong and getting fouled.
Henderson hanging a little bit before going for the shot.
Foul, Collins.
Is fouled by Collins there. Abby King getting out of the way. And we'll have 2 free throws here for David Henderson.
Collins got him on the head. David Henderson, in the first few minutes of this ball game, displayed a lot of basketball savvy. As we mentioned, scored on a couple of baskets and gave out some lightning-fast assists.
And also came up with defensive rebounds. So he knows that he's going to be used as an overall, all-around player, no? It's not only offense we're looking for you, we're looking for defense, we're looking for you to pass off. And he seems to be having a good rapport with his teammates so far in this ballgame.
Well, that's one thing that coaches look for, especially in an import, one who will respond well to the situation and to the expectations of him. 10-point lead now for the Swift Mighty Meaties. They're going to Alan Kaidik.
Again, a good defensive rebound by Henderson, pushes the ball up. Goes all the way, Wallace stops it in.
Early takeoff.
And you can see his very long hands, as shown in that last play with his teammates rising up in unison from their bench, to cheer him on.
They're certainly looking happy with their import. Onchi de la Cruz gets stripped of possession by Rick Marata. High pass by Marata, taken away by Collins. 2-on-1 situation here. And the feed by Alan Kaidik on the alley-oop for Derwin Tag Collins. Collins responds and picks up a foul.
So a 3-point play, and he gets his first field goal. You can see Alan unselfish in this play. Trying teammate get some confidence, no?
Off the steal, a PEP 24 fast break. That's what we call it now. PEP 24 fast break for the Presto Ice Cream Kings. And Derwin Tag Collins completes the 3-point play. He now has a total of 6 points in the game. However, they're still down by 9 at 31-22. Henderson gets open momentarily. Collins tries to go after him and will pick up his 3rd personal foul.
Foul, Collins.
Not an easy job guarding a guy who can shoot from the outside. He gets picks from his teammates, squared for the shot. The only way you're going to stop that is to foul him, Or it doesn't go in.
Right. Of course, that was a costly foul given up by Collins early in the ball game. Only in the first quarter, you already had 3.
That's right. That's very true. And they might be forced to go to some local players to give some relief here to Collins. Henderson misses his first free throw.
Second shot by Henderson gives the Swift Mighty Meaties another 10-point advantage at 32-22. Onchi de la Cruz up against Rick Marata. And referee De Leon calls a foul on Marata.
We are in the penalty, and so De La Cruz will go to the free throw line as Collins is now replaced by Arnie Tuadles.
Well, as my partner Andy Howe mentioned, Collins will have to have some breather, especially with only 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and what with the 3 personal fouls already slapped on him.
Andy de Guzman coming back into the ballgame for Henderson. Henderson himself getting some rest here.
For a while there, he looked bewildered. Do I really have to go? With only 38 seconds left and with the other import out.
Valdez is being taken out by Ria Lubit. Well, you know, a rest like that certainly will do any player good.
Well, imports are expected to play the full 48 minutes, but whenever the opportunity comes for a breather, that should be a welcome time for them.
Okay, the lead has been slashed down to 8 from a high of 13. Marata quarterbacking here for the Swiss Mighty Meaties. Distrito coming out of a pick, losing it. Abe King anticipating that.
Zigzagging move by Onchi de la Cruz. Missed it on the left feet. Abe King.
Power play there by Abe King, grabbing that offensive rebound over the head of Rudy Distrito.
Only 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Rick Marata calling out the play for the Mighty Meaties.
A high scoring ball game so far.
A little bit more watching Marata on the switch. Eric Reyes looking at the clock. It's 3 seconds. Reyes with a fake and a miss. At the end of the first quarter, it is 32-26. The Swift Mighty Meaties in the lead. Start of second quarter action of our first game for the 1992 season. Andy de Guzman pulling up for a jumper from right quarter court and giving the Swift Mighty Meaties another commanding 34-26 lead.
Both teams now playing all Filipino here at the start of the second quarter. Both imports getting a rest on their bench. Arnie Tuadles with an offensive foul, very clear, using the left hand to ward off against Andy de Guzman.
Arnie Tuadles came in the last few seconds of the first quarter
to give their import a rest, coming up with an intimidating move against a seemingly younger player in Andy de Guzman. No? Nice play there for Eric Reyes. Fadeaway shot, but he misses that one and would have an over-the-back foul there called on Abe King.
Foul King.
We're in the first minute of the second quarter. And there you see the story on rebounds in the first quarter.
16-8 in favor of the Swiss Mighty Meaties. Some of them offensive, resulting in them being able to get closer shots at the basket, and they finish with a 50% field goal clip at the end of the first quarter.
Arnie Tuadles had a good look at the basket. Abe King with a twisting shot. And now the PRESTO Ice Cream Kings trying to get back some stats on rebounds.
Well, if you look at it, that's the reason for that is Henderson is sitting on the bench, regular center, Tanuan, and as I told you, strong players off the boards are all on the bench. As we see Kaidik now being lifted by Vergel Meneses.
A big welcome is there by the crowd here at the NASA. That's how it's called now. The National Academy of Sports Arena. Vergel Meneses, of course, the top pick for 1992.
He seems to have put on some weight there, unless he's wearing a very loose uniform.
Yes, from where we sit.
Yes. Vergel is my inaanak.
Yes, I remember.
My first, for a person to get married and ask me to be a sponsor.
Well, how does it feel? A little older?
Yeah. I couldn't say no to a guy who treated me well during my stint with the PBL.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we have a pushing foul there called against Saldi Villalubit. That will be second personal foul, and already the Ice Cream Kings have picked up 3 team fouls here in this quarter. With 10 minutes and 45 seconds, Henderson with a drive to the hoop, a little bit strong off the glass, and the Ice Cream Kings now improving on their rebounding in this quarter.
Definitely. Arnie Tuadles has it up against Eric Reyes. And Tuadles tried to test the metal of Eric Reyes, didn't get the baseline. Onchi de la Cruz, and with another suicidal drive there.
With his plan of not having a very good offensive game, De La Cruz is trying to fill up the gap. Well, you cannot say who's number 1 and who's number 2 as far as that position is concerned. De Guzman with a nice drive and a good soft shot for him in that last play.
De Guzman certainly has developed into a very colorful player with a lot of strength, especially after last year's stint with the squad. Tuadles has De Guzman in front of him now. Arnie had to get off to Onchi de la Cruz, who gets bumped by Terry Saldana. And the second personal foul is called on Terry.
Saldana biting into that fade and landing right on top of Onchi de la Cruz.
Nelson Aceitona is back for Terry Saldana. And what are the muses in today's colorful but simple opening ceremonies?
36-29 is the count, Ed. 7-point lead. Vergel Meneses being isolated for a one-on-one play, but you've got an import who's looking him straight in the eye like it was a boxing match.
Baptism of fire there for Vergel Meneses.
And that'll be the second offensive foul called on Arnie Tuadles, left hand warding off. Take a look at that on our slow-mo. Andy De Guzman there. Arnie felt a little bit perturbed with that call because unlike the first one, where it was legitimate, he wrapped around his hand against the defensive player. This one he did not. Henderson taking a jumper and making it.
Down the rail, it was felt rather that an offensive foul should have been called.
Yes, against Henderson.
Got it in the face, although it was accidental, of course. Archie. Open shot there for him. Got a closer ball game now at 38-31, just a 7-point lead by the Swift Mighty Meaties. Biggest lead at 13 early on in the ball game at 21-8. A slow start by the PRESTO Ice Cream Kings, but they try to more second chance points here for Nelson Aceitono.
And he was really high up in the air for that offensive rebound. That was a hook off the glass after getting an offensive rebound. That is a sequence that you would really like to get all over again.
Oh, yeah. Picture perfect. Villalubit taking it strong against Nelson Aceitono. A blocking foul is going to be charged on Nelson. Second personal on Aceitono. And we have German Tack Collins coming back in for Arnie Tuadles. Jackson one. They sent in for Eric Reyes, who has just gotten his first taste of pro basketball. This, of course, being opening day for the 1992 season. Tack Collins has 3 fouls on him already. Meneses being egged on by the crowd. Good handoff. Collins, however, not up to it. And on the rebound play, a foul is going to be called, the third personal foul on Nelson Aceitono.
That could be a blessing in disguise, of course, although you certainly would want to take the 2 points because it was an easy 2 points. But in the process, they did pick up for a third personal foul from a key player of the other team, and we're only in the second quarter.
Well, Nelson Aceitono certainly showed that he is comfortable in this team, has gotten a major role in the Swift Mighty Meaties cause. Tack Collins missing again.
A little bit too soft on the layup shot.
Rick Marata tries to settle down his squad.
Collins has a mismatch here, but Marata cannot get the ball to him, and as a matter of fact, he went the other way until the other team finally realized they had a mismatch. Henderson will have to shoot from the outside, and he makes it over the defense of Abe King.
Yes. As we said, David Henderson, from the few minutes that we've seen of him, certainly is striking us as a multi-dimensional player. There he goes with a steal. And the lead off to Andy de Guzman, who completes the Pep 24 fast break with a foul.
That's a new kind of fast breaker.
Yes,
Foul
it's a
Meneses.
Pep 24 fast break.
Does it mean you got pep for 24 hours?
I hope.
Because I certainly need that.
Yes. Well, maybe we will have an opportunity to try it one of these days.
Henderson coming up with a good steal off a defensive anticipation play and getting it off to his teammates to complete a 3-point play, and this is the biggest lead of the ballgame. A 14-point lead for the Swift Mighty Meaty Hot Dogs.
Archie de la Cruz bringing it up for the Presto Ice Cream Kings. Lead pass to Hank Collins. Henderson coming in from behind is charged with his first personal foul.
But his teammate half-fronted Hank Collins, who got a lob pass in Henderson, which is the natural thing to do for a player from the weak side you help out. But he reached in and gave up the foul.
Vergel Meneses being watched closely. I mean closely by David Henderson, but Meneses gets away. Oh! What a way to score your first 2 points in the PBA.
And he got it over the outstretched arms of a bigger player. Henderson faked off. Meneses going to his strong side. Tanuan helping out, but he still manages to make it off the glass for his first 2 points of the ballgame.
Well, Henderson will have to show more respect for this young guy.
I think he's been sticking very close to him, if you notice. Right. The only point is, in that play, a good offensive player with a good shake and bake move got him out of the way. Henderson trying to get it back.
Tanuan with the offensive rebound. The fall away is in.
And this has been the big story in this first half of play. The offensive rebounding of the Swift's Mighty Meaty is resulting in follow-up shots and conversions, as evidenced by that play.
Well, you've seen a lot of that coming in from Nelson Osaitono and David Henderson. Collins. Now he makes sure.
Good drive, using the glass properly.
Derwin Tag Collins has 8 points. His counterpart, Henderson, has 13. Meneses. Fancy move. That's what the crowd was waiting for from Vergel Meneses. And they're getting it.
You know, Meneses was born to play in the pros because of his great one-on-one ability. You know, he is an open court player, just like possibly a Ferdinand Ravena who was playing for San Miguel. Both of them are good one-on-one players in open court. Now, Vergel is more refined because of his experience, and he has a better medium-range jump shot. And he's trying to live up to his expectations, the expectations of the public of having been picked as number 1. No?
2 3-point plays already for Vergel Meneses.
Nice pass. And Andy de Guzman, no less, stops it in, eh?
Hey, remember me?
Vergel's weakness, of course, is his defensive game, and that is something that he has to improve through the years.
Well, as we said in a magazine interview that we read, Vergel Meneses acknowledges that kink in his armor and he's working on it. Good getaway by Hank Collins.
Collins is now beginning to pick up a little on the offensive game and using a little bit more of his speed. No? Instead of just watching, takes this ball away. Might stop it in, yes, sir.
As you observed earlier, they've been devising and giving him some alley-oop plays, and that time he showed why they've been doing that. A 12-4 run here by the Presto Ice Cream Kings has moved them up to within 6 points.
Morata has been very careless with his passes in this ball game. It just resulted in 3 interceptions and almost another one in this play.
We have a timeout by Presto.
This is them being teammates and Juancho a stickler in defense. Now, Juancho is not a rookie that was drafted this year. He was drafted last year and picked up as a rookie free agent by the Swiss Mighty Meaty Hot.
That's right.
Henderson asking for isolation against Collins. He wants to try to pick up another foul from Collins.
Henderson gets the offensive rebound, the fake, and the hit.
Henderson having his way there. You know, he's not a very selfish player the way I see it, no? But when he realized that his team was getting clobbered by some spectacular points, he knew he had to put some distance between his team and the other, and he asked for that isolation play.
There's Troy Estrada already at work against Vergel Meneses. Turnaround jumper, Meneses gets a second try, and again he'll get a 3-point play. Vergel Meneses in 6, before this point, already had 2 3-point plays. Now he'll have an opportunity to get a third.
See, Estrada guards him well by staking his claim on the spot where he puts the defense, forcing Meneses to drop a shot. The only problem is afterwards, Vergel is taller than he is and has greater leaping ability to get that offensive rebound. So he has 9 in the ball game right now. And Alan Kaidik, by the way, is back in the ball game. So you have 2 gunners there for the Presto Ice Cream Kings. No?
Well, of course, the Presto team has been noted as a scoring machine. There's Alan Kaidik giving up a foul against David Henderson. That will be the second on the trigger man.
Well, if you have good screening plays and you force a switch off, like as what happened in this play, you have Kaidik guarding Henderson underneath the basket, and there's no way he can do that except to foul him. So the minute you can get the ball to him, you spot that mismatch, you have an advantage.
Henderson be more careful with his free throws now. Missed one earlier. But our engineers are on top of the situation.
Well, hopefully, and knock on wood, this is the first day opening, and we would like to see a complete coverage.
As well, as we said, the crowd here at the Ultra is a sellout, and they certainly have shown that basketball fans all over the country are hungry for the kind of basketball action that can only be seen here in the PBA.
We have Gerald Esplana coming back into the ball game for Onchi de la Cruz, who quarterbacked well. Fourth shot by Kaidik results in a foul, however, from Solis, I think.
Yes, it's going to be Al Solis charged with a foul. He was double teaming together with David Henderson. Henderson putting up the umbrella. And there's the foul on Al Solis.
Kaidik, who scored the first 9 of the 10 points of this team and kept them in pace despite the rampaging offense of the Swiss Mighty Meaty Hot Dogs, returns to the ball game and continues to shoot well.
He now has 16 in the game, top scoring so far.
Almost always.
Oh, yes.
Of course, in an import conference, you expect the import to also come up, but not yet at this point.
Jack Taruan up against Rhea Lubit. Henderson, low post play against Collins. Turn around, jumper won't go, and Rhea Lubit has the rebound.
Good help by Rhea Lubit there.
There's that alley-oop play again.
Alan Kaidik playing like an import.
Yes, that's the second time that he's assisted Collins on the alley-oop. Henderson looking at an opening and making use of it.
Oh, he stopped that one real quick, huh?
Well, Rhea Lubit. Yes. Made sure that he was in there immediately. Alan Kaidik trying to take the game to Henderson, and he loses possession. Choi Estrada spots Terry Saldana. Saldana goes all the way.
Fast break points again working here for the Swiss Mighty Meaty Hot Dogs.
3 minutes and 17 seconds remaining. We are in the second quarter of this game.
57-50 is the count. A high-scoring ball game in the offing.
Jerry Esplana uses the pick by Rhea Lubit.
Gets a good bounce there, a soft shot.
And a timeout by Yeng Giao. So Ice Cream Kings taking on the Swift Mighty Meaties. The lead down to only 5 points for the Mighty Meaties. Had a big one at 13 early in the first quarter. Choi Estrada has it for the Swift Mighty Meaties. Al Solis is back in the game. He has another. Jerry Esplana right in front of him.
Shot clock is down to 8 seconds.
Henderson goes for it. 2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the second quarter. At halftime, of course, we're going to have, as usual, KP at the half. And Robbie K will be discussing who's gone where as far as the players are concerned. And, of course, Dr. J will give his halftime analysis. Meneses. Estrada trying to shut the door on Vergel. Instead will be charged with a foul. They are in penalty. And so, on the second foul of Choi Estrada, Vergel Meneses will have 2 chances from the free throw line.
Well, he's about a 6'2" player, and posting him up certainly gives him advantage over smaller players. Now, Estrada will hold the ground, but like I told you when he came in, the play is good, but the fact is that Estrada is foul prone, and since they are in the penalty, it was not a very good time to get him in the ball game because Estrada will certainly foul him, not give him a shot, but that will send him to the free throw line. Henderson with a nice spin.
Going over to his right side. And getting his man off balance there. Henderson already with 23 points in the game.
And we'll have a loose ball foul called on Estrada against Kaidik, who was posting up this time. A two-man game only for the Presto Tripolis, and that will mean free throws for Alan Kaidik.
Third personal foul on
Estrada.
Juancho Estrada, and immediately Rudy Distrito is dispatched to relieve him.
Distrito has not been an offensive threat so far for his new team. And Alan Kaidik certainly has been scoring well here.
Alan Kaidik bore the brunt of the offensive chores in the first few minutes of this game, as none of his teammates could get the ball to drop.
Kaidik, however, missing the second free throw, and we have Solis getting that ball tap out of his hands by Esplana. 19 seconds on the shot clock, a minute and 52 left in the second quarter.
Here's Henderson getting away. Oh, had a clear lane there.
There was a switch off, and Esplana just didn't want to pick up Henderson. He knew there was a mismatch. He was asking Collins to come back, but the guy did not respond. Nice spin by Esplana.
At a 360 there by Jerry Esplana. He's one of the players who were having problems early in this ball game trying to score.
But he has regained his composure now.
Yes.
De La Cruz filled in properly.
Distrito gets the ball stripped away by Alan Kaidik. Spot call is on the run. Rudy Distrito trying to avenge what happened to the other side of the court. Gets the ball out of bounds. That would have been an easy 2 points for Tank Collins, though. Meneses facing Henderson. Esplana of Solis. Rebounds couple there. Terry Saldana trying to save it. Alan Kaidik loses it to the sideline. But let's see, referee Maguire calling it in favor of Presto.
Alan Kaidik clapping here.
Here's Esplana. Meneses at that spot against Henderson. There's the spin.
A little bit too strong off the glass.
A little bit missing. Right on the second try.
And the lead has been cut down all the way to 4, 63 to 59, with 35 seconds left here in the second quarter. High-scoring ball game, as we mentioned earlier. Both teams very strong on their offensive game.
Long pass to the streaker. Henderson. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Well, this is the closest that the Presto Ice Cream Kings have come since falling behind by as many as 14 points here in the second quarter.
And Collins picking up another foul there, Ed. That will be number 4 on him. So Abe King back for Collins. And Henderson will go to the free throw line.
Well, that is going to hamper their bid to try and overhaul the lead by the Swift Mighty Meaties. That's a welcome development as far as the Mighty Meaties is concerned.
That's very true.
And it's back to a 6-point lead.
And a steal here by Rudy Distrito.
Meneses spot Saldana, reversed by Perry. And in a wink of an eye, the lead is back to 8 points. Esplana hurrying things up and getting it on the fast break play. The pitch by Tadeo to Solis, but it's all over as far as the second quarter is concerned. And we are going to have KP at the half with Romy Quintanar and, of course, Andy Hale's halftime analysis in just a short while.
So halftime score is 67 to 61, lamang po ang Swift. Kung makikita nyo, medyo nag-struggle po kami, yung Presto team, especially nung first quarter, kasi po na foul trouble kagad si Tank Collins, nag 3 fouls kagad siya ng first quarter. Samantalang yung import nila na si David Henderson, talagang maganda po ang nilaro. Good thing, nung second quarter, medyo nakadikit kami ng konti because of Vergel Meneses. Maganda po ang start niya dito sa game na to. Parang 3 straight 3-point plays ang nagawa niya. Kaya po medyo tumikit yung score. So, kung makikita nyo, parang lumamang po sila ng mga 11 points right away. Pinaka-highest nila is 14. And out-rebounded kami nitong first half talaga. So, kaya po, abangan natin itong second half. For sure, it's going to be a close game.
Opening day of the 1992 season of the PBA. Certainly a hungry crowd aching for basketball action, getting their fill on the very first game. This is Presto versus Swift. The Swift Mighty Meaties behind a very strong big start are now in the lead by 6 points, 67-61.
Henderson has been the main cog here for the Swiss Mighty Meaties, leading them with 27 points in the first half. He didn't start off very strong offensively, although he got his first 2 shots in. And but when he realized it was time to get to work, he started going to the basket. Here again, he gets off an assist to his teammate Eric Reyes, who picks up his first 2 points and point shot.
That's the third by Alan Kadick in this ball game. He's certainly waxing hot. He knows that he has to pick up his offensive game as is usual for his team.
19 points in the ball game now for Alan Kadick. That would have been a great assist play. Just a little bit too strong for Asay Tono to field as he went back door. One-on-one play here for Collins. He slows down, however, against Eric Reyes. Couldn't get that crossover dribble.
Pick given up by Alan Kadick, or rather by King to Alan Kadick. Here's Alan for the triple D.
And Alan really waxing hot there, even though the Guzman really stuck to him close. Was on top of him in that shot. Alan needed that little breather to get that 3-point shot in. No? Cut the lead down to 2 right now, 69-67.
Eric Reyes, this is the closest that the Presto Ice Cream Kings have come in this ball game since we started.
Shot clock is down to 3 seconds.
Double team on Andy de Guzman results in a foul by Alan Kadick, his 3rd personal in the ball game.
That was a blessing in disguise there for the Swiss Mighty Meaties, because shot clock was running down. They were not still in good position to shoot at all, but the foul resets the shot clock to 25.
David Henderson getting away momentarily from King, and Nelson, as I told him, once more picking up second chance points.
Do you call that an assist? Because it did not hit the board, and it went straight to the hands of Nelson Asaitono, who was very much on top of that play.
Erwin Collins, on top of him was Eric Reyes, and he will be charged with his first personal foul.
Eric, reading the moves of Collins correctly, gave up the foul. Side court throw in here for the Presto team. Tibulis Ice Cream Kings.
Reyes finally found himself open inside of a pass by Tank Collins.
You notice that in defense, the Swiss Mighty Meaties tend to double team a lot, leaving some open men, and that has been capitalized so far by the Tibulis Ice Cream Kings. No?
Blocking foul on Al Solis. That will also be number 3 for him.
And that will be the second team foul. The Swiss Mighty Meaties are having problems getting points from their guard line. The Solis, Distrito, Marata have not really been contributing heavily. They have been getting points from their big men, Asaitono and Andy de Guzman, plus their import.
And let's see. Eric Reyes picking up his second personal foul as Tank Collins tried a jumper there.
Reyes was not able to fight the screen properly, and he fouled Collins when he was up in the air. Collins will go to the free throw line.
As we mentioned, Tank Collins has already picked up 4 personal fouls, and he will have to stay clear of any more, since we still have a long ways to go. 9 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter alone.
Henderson has been picked up by Abe King. Obviously, Jimmy Mariano knows that Abe is one of his best defensive players, and he's trying to use that against one of the best offensive players of the other team. No?
However, that time, a foul is going to be charged on the veteran, Abe King.
See, but he knows how to foul him, and he fouls him before he can go for the shot, no? So it will not mean free throw shots. Backdoor play.
Foul a bit too high, or rather the pass was a bit too high.
Solis complaining that it was tapped out by Collins, who had anticipated that backdoor play, no?
Alan Kaidik going baseline.
There's a foul downstairs called on the Guzman. Alan faked off when he saw a lot of big men coming at him.
Guzman.
Let's take a look at that play. He gets away from Henderson.
Got Asaitono up in the air. Alan missing from three-point country that time, and Asaitono takes care of the rebound. Tough break there for Andy de Guzman.
That was not a bad pass. De Guzman should have made sure that he caught the ball first before looking at his basket.
Crowd cheering as Vergel Meneses reports to the scorer's table outside for Presto, and they have another opportunity to tie up the ball game for the very first time. Distrito is in for Andy de Guzman as Reyes Lubit is replaced by Vergel Meneses. Well, this young man certainly has generated a lot of excitement, as you can hear every time he handles the ball. 4 seconds left on the shot clock, only 3 now. Collins.
An automatic 25-second violation when the shot did not fall. Good defense there, and at the same time, the Ice Cream Kings not aware that the shot clock was winding down on them.
Still a 2-point lead here by Swift. Solis jumping a pass to Henderson. Tried to get it inside to Asaitono, but Alan Kaidik knocked it away.
12 seconds left on the shot clock for the Swiss Mighty Meaties, who are enjoying a 2-point lead. 8:09 left here in the third quarter.
Rudy Distrito still feeling his way around, and a double dribble is called on Rudy.
Distrito beginning to lose a little bit of his composure here as he cannot get his offensive game going.
True. He has been trying since the moment he was fielded in back in the first quarter. Meneses going 1-on-1 against Henderson. His route was blocked. Jerry is planning inside. Decides to give it to Alan Kaidik for his fifth triple D conversion.
3 points.
Like I said, the Swiss have a tendency to sag down a lot. And the Presto Tibulis, they seem to know where Alan Kaidik is when they get into trouble, and they throw the ball back to him. And he responds with another 3-point shot to give. The Tibulis a 1-point lead.
Their first taste of the lead. Foul downstairs, says referee De Leon. No count of that basket. Jerry Esplana is called for his second personal. As we mentioned, this is the first taste of the lead for the Presto Ice Cream Kings since we started the ball game. And we have Rudy Distrito now, top of the key for Swift. Henderson asking for the ball, Collins sticking to him. The double team, and Abe King acknowledges the foul.
Foul King.
Third personal on Abe King. Distrito's open inside the key.
Set up for that one, and he gets a soft shot to fall.
Claiming that he was clipped that shot.
When he was coming out of the pick, he was being, the defensive man was holding him down.
Esplana up against Al Solis. Tap out by Solis.
75-74 here. 6:54 in the third quarter. Coming up, Pure Foods Hot Dogs going up against Shell Rimula X.
Vergel Meneses with a bicycle move, almost, but not quite. And here comes the destroyer. Oh, blocked the middle by Abe King.
And Abe, one of the best defensive players. Nice pass.
Oh, and there's Sherwin Tag Collins completing the Pep 24 fast break for Presto. And again giving them a 1-point lead.
Well, a good defensive job on one end resulted in a fast break on the other end. So trying to get a little bit more active, but he couldn't get the shot off the glass.
Alan Kaidik off to Vergel Meneses as he's over the lane. Nelson Asaitono colliding with him in midair, and he will pick up foul number 4.
Foul.
Very
Aside
poor defense now here by the Swiss Mighty Meaties, who seem to be at a loss. They have a strong offensive team on the floor, but not well balanced, with Asay Tono having to play as the center of this team. No? And eventually the reaction now from the coach by sending in a true center, Tanuan.
Vergel Meneses has not missed from the free throw line in 6 attempts.
Asay Tono also picked up his fourth personal foul, which forced that change.
Meneses having an auspicious debut here in the Pro League, and a timeout by Yengel. Second quarter, now in the lead by 3, 78-75.
Well, Presto did that, the Tivolis did that, despite the fact that they're using Abe as their center, you know. So they're playing a smaller lineup, but a very potent offensive team, no? And it's a hell of a defense, and that was a great rejection there by Collins, who really got high up into the air.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Collins does have a pretty good leaping ability, as you can see here. Big block. Distrito gets Kaidik out of the way, and Distrito has 6 points.
Well, Distrito is a scorer, and he has the confidence coming off some great years. And obviously, you cannot put the clamps on him that long. No? The Tivoli is doing a good defensive job, despite their small lineup. Meneses will shoot a three-pointer, in and out.
Eric Reyes has the rebound for Swift.
Well, Henderson gave Meneses that. He didn't think that he could probably take that one in. Good defense again by Abe King.
Jerry Esplana pushing it up, finds Distrito in front of him. Alan Kaidik says, I'll take it, but he misses on his attempt for a 6th three-point shot conversion. Distrito into the backcourt, off to Solis. Distrito slices through the middle.
And Distrito suddenly getting offensive-minded. After the timeout by Yang Yao, he's got his troops regrouping. And they take back a 1-point lead, 79-78. Quality ball game being shown right now by both squads.
As he said, Rudy Distrito for a moment there was a bit tentative in this ball game, but has picked up. Hank Collins has 4 personals on him. Vergel Meneses has had Henderson in front of him, and there is a traveling violation,
which nullifies that shot that he made. I think that was a correct call. He stopped and lifted his pivot foot here.
Yeah.
Here he stops, then he continues to walk. That's a good call, because he gets the defensive players right in front of him.
79-78 in favor of the Mighty Meaties. They have possession. Al Solis off to Distrito. Foul on Kaidik. His 4th.
Foul. Kaidik.
4th personal foul on Kaidik, and the 15th foul called against the Tivolis. Esplana is now being replaced by Onchi de la Cruz. De la Cruz assigned to Rudy Distrito now.
Eric Reyes working against Vergel Meneses, the fake, and the hit by Eric Reyes.
So Swift being a little bit patient now with their offensive game. The timeout certainly did them good.
Yes. Well, Yang Gao sensed the Ice Cream Kings coming back here in the 3rd quarter. Collins with a good fake.
Now his teammates did not help out quick enough for that low post movement of Collins, which was not really quick.
Shortest import in the league so far at 6'2" and 5'8". Distrito spots Henderson inside underneath, and he gets a foul from Abe King to boot.
You see the Guzman sitting on the bench, and in the background there was another rookie who has not seen action, Bonel Balingit, who certainly has his own following.
Oh yes. Big guy, as we know, there are very few. It's a very rare breed in Philippine basketball, in the Philippine population.
For that matter.
Yes. Henderson is 7 out of 9 now from the free throw line.
83-80 is the count. 3-point lead being enjoyed by Swift. 3 minutes and 20 left here in the 3rd quarter.
Abe King looking inside and finding Collins there. No shot. Alan Kaidik. The trigger man has 27 in the ball game. And the Mighty Meaties trying to protect a 1-point lead or pad that if they can in this play. Henderson taking it inside, leaving Abe King behind.
Well, he was hoping his teammates would cover, and he was saying, I'm in personal foul trouble, so I cannot block him or foul him. You got to help me out. No?
But nobody was there to help out, and Henderson had the lane all to himself. Back to a 3-point lead. Meneses is open for the jumper.
Solis
into the front court. Collins meeting him. Tight pass by Henderson intended for Eric Reyes. Tapped out by Onchi de la Cruz, and we're going to have a timeout. It is a 3-point lead by the Swift Mighty Meaties at 85-82. Big comeback here by the Presto Ice Cream Kings. Henderson on the quick turnaround missing. Collins has the rebound.
and Rhea a little bit down on the floor. Struggling to get up here. 3-point shot by Kaidek, and that ties the ball game at 85 all.
The look of frustration there on the face of Rudy Distrito as he tried to stop Alan Kaidek, but Kaidek paid him no mind.
As if he wasn't there.
Yes. There's going to be a foul on Onchi.
Well, Collins has managed to stay away from a fifth foul. Although the Tibolis are now in penalty situation with that last foul, it has become 7. Meneses anticipating that one, gets it off to Kaidek, but that's right. Eric Reyes with a nice play, Meneses get it back, and they are in trouble because that's his kind of a move, no?
Nice move by Vergel Meneses on the drive. Didn't get it to drop, but he did pick up a foul from Al Solis. And Meneses visits the free throw line again. He has 7 points tucked under his belt from that area.
But he's already in double figures. He's 8 out of 8 from the free throw line. Solis is now being given a rest here. Solis couldn't get his offensive game going, trying to set up and being unselfish to his teammates. 1:47 left.
In the third quarter, Meneses now has 15 points in his debut appearance here in the PBA. 2-point lead by the Presto Ice Cream Kings, as they are known this year. Henderson being watched by Rhea Lubit now. Rick Marata up against Kaidek. Distrito. Eric Reyes thinking about it, trying to get closer. Spots Rick Marata open at the flag. And Rhea Lubit has the rebound for Presto.
Rhea Lubit doing a very good job of boxing out Henderson from the possible offensive rebound and positioning himself well.
Meneses off to Alan Kaidek. Got the curl on Distrito. That's counted with a foul.
Alan going off to his teammates and getting high fives there from Abe King and Arnie Tuadles. Third personal foul on Distrito. 17 foul now called against the Swift Mighty Meaties, and the Tibolis enjoy their biggest lead of the ball game, 89-85.
We've had only one deadlock in this ball game at 85 all. Swift Mighty Meaties had controlled the ball game from the start until the Presto Ice Cream Kings started coming back late in the second quarter, and finally here in the third. Third personal on Zaldi Reyalubit. They are in the penalty, so 2 shots will be given to Jack Tanuan.
Well, Alan has missed 2 free throws here in this ball game, which is canny for him because he sinks longer shots than that.
And with people in front of him.
With people in front of him. That was a loose ball foul. That's why Tanuan is at the free throw line. And he makes the first to cut the lead down to 3. We have Terry Saldana about to come back in for Eric Reyes. It's a good move on the part of Yang Giao. He's trying to get Eric into the ball game, but at the same time, he knows he cannot keep a veteran like Terry Saldana sitting on the bench either, no?
So it's a matter of being able to shuffle them adroitly. Jack Tanuan gets 2 points from the line, and the lead is down to 2 at 89-87. 1:03 to go here in the third. Meneses working on the outside. Onchi de la Cruz up against Rick Marata. De la Cruz makes his move. Henderson tapped the ball. And here comes Henderson. Easy does it.
Nice and gentle. 89 all is the count. quick hands, resulting in an interception, and that results in a tight ball game with 40 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Only our second deadlock here at 89. Alan Cadig up against Distrito. Meneses gets momentarily open, tries to get closer, and again another three-point play here for Vergel Meneses.
And you know, a lot of these plays are emanating from Alan Cadig. When he sees a double team coming at him, there's the quick pass. De La Cruz himself comes up, and they are able to move the ball from the strong side to the weak side quickly with somebody attacking. With Meneses and Cadig at the floor at the same time, you have offensive threats on both sides of the floor on the different quarter courts. And that really makes the defense really have to struggle.
Meneses 100% on 10 out of 10 from the free throw line.
He's really concentrating. He was never that good a free throw shooter in the amateurs. You can see he's really psyched up for this ball game tonight.
He has all of 18 points now. Henderson isolated against Zaldo Realubit. Asaitono gets open for a jumper. Realubit gets a tap it, but Henderson picks it up.
Henderson decides to take a three-point shot.
Just in the nick of time, beating the buzzer there. A three-point shot
Henderson.
for David Henderson. And we've got a tight ball game with 92 after the third. And we'd like to show you that 36 point that he made as the game clock was winding down in the third quarter. Decided to put up a three-point shot. There you see the red light going off. And Henderson beating the buzzer to tie up the count at 92 all at the end of the third quarter. And we're starting off the last period here with a steal by Alan Cadig off the inbounds by Rudy Distrito. Big steal by Alan Cadig at the start of the fourth quarter. Collins. Meneses. Inside pass almost broken up by Henderson. Cadig went straight for the hole. And a loose ball foul.
It's on Asaitono.
And that's going to be number 5 on Nelson Asaitono, the new acquisition of the Swift Mighty Meaties from the TJ Hot Dogs camp.
After a blazing start, Asaitono getting into foul trouble. Has
Saitono.
not been able to produce the points that have been asked of him, no?
As he said, Asaitono played a big role in that rampage of the Swift Mighty Meaties in the first quarter, scored 10 there. Now has a total of 14. Meneses, offbeat shot, in and out. Realubit couldn't get it in either. And here's Distrito coming out of the fray. Rick Marata, back to Distrito inside. Yes.
And Distrito getting his scoring game here in the second half after a very poor start. The guy just started concentrating a little bit more on the game itself. No? And we'll have a foul on Marata, reaching in foul.
Darren Tank Collins threatened to go baseline, and the double team went up as you see the Pep 24 fast break play here by the Presto Ice Cream Kings. What a pass by Alan Cadig, and the slam dunk by their import, Darren Tank Collins.
And another foul here by Distrito. That'll be number 4 on him.
We're in the first minute of the fourth quarter. First game for the 1992 season of the PBA. Another steal by David Henderson, and he's home free.
Those kind of turnovers have been hurting the Tibalese. An easy 2 points there, 96-92, as the Swiss Mighty Meaties take the first 4 points here in the fourth quarter.
38 points for David Henderson, but aside from scoring, he has been doing a lot on the hard court for the Swift Mighty Meaties. Alan Cadig missing a three-point try. Collins and Saldana going for the rebound. Goes to Alan Cadig. Collins is inside. Spots De La Cruz open. Finally, David Henderson says enough.
Tama na.
Tama na. Ako naman. Inside pass to Terry Saldana. Up against Meneses. Had to improvise. Didn't get the shot, but he will take 2.
You see, Terry used to be one of the best one-on-one players in that lane, you see. And, you know, having to sit on the bench for a while, had some problems making this. He actually missed it, but ordinarily, that's 2 points for him. You know? He has that good pivoting move of his.
Well, he'll have to take his 2 point the hard way. Or is it the easier way?
It's a 5-0 run now here for the Swiss Hot Dogs. And Meneses is being replaced here by Twatless after some turnovers. and some misses. He's trying though, and he's come up with a very creditable performance tonight.
As you said, for a debut performance, that is certainly an auspicious debut for the top pick.
Well, at least number one pick, he just came right in and said, I'm the number one pick, and I'm not number one pick for nothing.
Pat Collins gets the first 2 points of Presto in the fourth quarter, cutting the lead down to 4. Rudy Distrito off to Marata from top of the key. 3-point shot is not going to go. Jack Tanuan finds himself with the ball.
And that was courtesy of Terry Saldana, who kept that ball alive. Couldn't get the ball for himself, tapped it to his teammate.
6-point lead by the Mighty Meaties. Collins trying to be more aggressive. Double team was clamped down on him by Saldana and Tanuan.
Tanuan.
And Jack has 4 personal fouls. That is the first team foul by the Presto Ice Cream Kings here in the fourth quarter. The Mighty Meaties have already picked up 4.
Collins, however, missing the first free throw.
Has 22 so far.
100-94 is the count, and 9:41 left here in the fourth and final quarter.
Lead down to 5 after split charities by Tank Collins. Henderson coming out of a pick. Losing the handle, but Distrito is there to save the ball and put it in.
Distrito now beginning to hum offensively.
After a ho-hum first half by Rudy Distrito, has so far come up with 12 points. 10 here in the second half as Aldi Realubit scores his 7th marker of the ball game.
Good pass by Arnie Tuadles, who's guarding Henderson now, with Realubit helping out.
Another fancy pass by Henderson. Jack Tanuan is blocked. Distrito from the line. And Alan Kaidik gets it for Presto. Kaidik getting away from Distrito.
Such a good offensive player.
Alan Kaidik with 35 points in the ball game.
All in a day's work.
Oh, yes. So what else is new, says he. Rick Marata. Saldana up against Tuadles, inside pass to Tanuan. Hitting the deck is Alan Kaidik. And to add salt to a wound, he now has 5 personal fouls.
5 personal fouls on Kaidik. Solis coming back into the ball game for Marata. Meneses probably coming in for Kaidik right now.
Kaidik.
Yes, June Mariano left with no choice. He'll have to pull out his
De La Cruz.
highest pointer, Alan Kaidik. Jerry Espada is also in for the point guard chores, relieving Onchi De La Cruz. Henderson's pass inside to Terry Saldana. Oh, deep under the basket. Too deep. 3-point lead by the Mighty Meaties. Collins spotting a small opening. He steps on the baseline. Some of the players of Presto on the bench claiming he was bumped
Up first before he went to that area.
Yes.
And if the call had been made, then it would have been a side court throw. The violation would not have come around.
Henderson skirting the lane. Back to the basket shot roll for Terry Saldana. Fouled on the follow-up try. This one is going to be called on Zaldi Rilubit, who now has 4.
A lot of the big men are getting into foul trouble.
That's true.
Chiefs enjoying a 3-point lead, 102-99.
Terry Saldana more confident on his free throws in the instances that we've seen him in this ball game. Abe King coming in for their import, Tank Collins.
Splitting a little bit hard now.
Alan Kaidik is being attended to on the bench after that fall and his 5th personal foul.
Saldana missing on the second free throw. Still a 4-point lead here now for the Chiefs Mighty Meaties.
Meneses spots Arnie Tuadles open.
Henderson doesn't know him that well, although Arnie should have hit that shot. It was quite open.
Familiar move by Rudy Distrito. No count on that shot because the foul was given up before Distrito. This is the past third personal foul on Arnie Tuadles. See that here. So it's going to be a sideline inbound. Here's steal by Jerry Esplana, but he will be charged with the foul. Now the Presto Ice Cream Kings have 5 team fouls. The Swift Mighty Meaties have remained at 4. Traveling on Distrito. (103-99), a 4-point lead by Swift. Vergel Meneses going to work, but Terry Saldana taps it. Distrito on the run. Esplana stays with him though. Terry Saldana.
Screen for Henderson here. Realubit on top of him, shoots another 3-point shot, and it's in.
From the same area where he hit it with only a split second remaining back in the third. And that puts the Mighty Meaties on top by 7 points again.
Henderson with a magnificent open NBA performance. All around. Rebounding, defense,
assists,
and stealing the ball several times here.
Right. Big rebound by Jack Canuan. And the Mighty Meaties with an opportunity to pad this 7-point lead with 6:33 to go in the ball game. Henderson double teamed. Inside Saldana. Canuan and King fighting for the loose ball, and a jump ball situation ensues in front of the Swift basket.
Abe King and happy with that. Let's take a look at that play. Did get the ball, but the power of Abe Reyes was able to take it away. Although I think it's a good call. They had enough contact on that play.
Timeout by Jimmy Mariano. As the Ultras now known, 6:23 to go in the ball game. Jump ball situation between King and Canuan. David Henderson, blocked and fouled by Zaldo Realubit.
That's a big call because Realubit will pick up his 5th personal foul. And it also means free throws here for Henderson. Henderson getting the ball there. There is the foul by Realubit. Distrito is now being replaced by Andy de Guzman.
Amidst the applause from the Swift Mighty Meaties, Andy de Guzman was put on hold for quite a time here in the second half.
Now this is a power lineup now for the Swift Mighty Meaties because with de Guzman playing in a small forward position, you move Henderson back to big guard. And you have a taller lineup. De Guzman is just as good a scorer as Distrito.
Oh, yes.
So 43 points now for Henderson, which I think has been the difference in this ball game. He's outscoring his counterpart on the other team completely, you know.
So Tank Collins has only been able to come up with 23.
So that's a 15-point difference right there.
Vergel Meneses with a big shake and bake move, and off the glass he scores his 20th point.
And if not for Meneses and Kaidek, the Tibulis would be hard-bound to look for their place in this ball game. Huh?
Of course, they're hanging in there, and one of those factors shown on the screens, the blocked shots. Henderson with a quick shot, and Terry Saldana.
Offensive foul.
Two referees calling that simultaneously. Referees Maglaya and De Leon. And Terry Saldana has 4 personal fouls. Swift Mighty Meaties with 5 team fouls, as against 6 by the Presto Ice Cream Kings.
Asaitono with 5 personal fouls coming in for Saldana. Although I think Saldana played pretty well. May not have scored a lot of points, but he was in there hanging in with the rebounds. And of course, Saldana will learn how to live. That Asaitono will be in front of him, but he'll always be there, needed.
Well, his experience is certainly something that will serve him in good stead. Zaldo Realubit felt he had a mismatch against Al Solis, and Solis hard put to keep Zaldo Realubit from getting inside the paint, give up his 1st or 5th personal foul. And that last bit of action, which you'll see here. Meneses up against De Guzman. And Meneses makes his move. The crowd is really enjoying the moves of Vergel Meneses.
Well, he has the ability to hang in the air, like guys like Paul Alvarez, Sam Boylin, which is what the Filipino crowd likes a lot.
Yes.
Look at him here. Stops, he glides a little bit, double pumps.
Shifts to his left.
Yes. Makes the free throw afterwards.
Hasn't missed, actually, from the 4.5-meter line. By the way, Andy de Guzman also has 5 personals now, so 4 players on the hard court for Swift have 5 personals, except for their import Henderson, who has kept relatively clean with only 1 free throw.
And the miss by Meneses results in a 3-point play in reverse on the follow-up by Reyes. And it's just a 4-point lead now for the Swift's Mighty Meaties.
On the other side, Zaldarilubit has 5, while Collins has 4.
Kaidik on the bench has 5.
Yes. As I thrown up against Collins, one-hander won't go, and Collins high up for the rebound out to Jerry Esplana. Esplana. Ooh.
And that will be it for Asaitono as he gives his hip in that play, no?
Gutsy move, though, by Jerry Esplana there, and Asaitono fouls out in his first stint with the Swift Mighty Meaties.
He just didn't know how to get out of the way in that play. You know, he tried to come back in defense, which is the right thing to do, but either you block the ball upstairs or you just let the guy have a layup, no? You can't do it half-baked like what he did, where he turned his back and gave his hip.
Well, his instincts probably told him to put up some sort of an effort there, but turned out to have backfired on him.
With 4 minutes and 56 seconds left in this ball game, it seems that we're going to go down the wire now. For a while, the Swifts looked like they were ready to take it again in this start of the 4th quarter, but they are beginning to lose steam again here.
Well, the Presto Ice Cream Kings are hanging in there, down only by 2. Andy de Guzman is bottled up.
And he was lucky he got fouled because he should not have taken that move on a 1-on-4 situation. No?
Yes. Timeout called by Swift. Another good defensive job there by the Presto Ice Cream Kings, forcing Henderson to a traveling violation.
With guys like Abe King and Rhea Lubit manning the blue area there, it's not really easy to get off a shot underneath the basket, as shown in that last play. Rhea Lubit getting that ball swiped out of his hands by Henderson.
And starting off a fast break play for the Swift Mighty Meaties. Al Solis didn't get a good jump on that try, but there is a foul called.
So he took off on the wrong foot there. Lucky for him, the Guzman was there to pick it up. The other team being in penalty. Both teams are in penalty right now, so the Guzman will go to the free throw line.
Jerry Esplana also now with 5 personal fouls. I'd like to say good evening to all sports fans and basketball watchers all over the Philippines. This is Ed Fixon together with Andy Howe for Vintage Enterprises continuing coverage of the PBA games, opening day for 1992, and the first game between the Presto Ice Cream Kings and the Swift Mighty Meaties still undecided with 4:19 remaining.
110 to 106, 4-point lead
by the Mighty Meaties, and he comes out a little bit that high post, being harassed by Henderson. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, no count. That would have been a spectacular shot. A lot of English on the ball, caused it to drop, and Collins here now picking up his 5th personal foul.
Used his left hand to ward off against Tanuan, who was coming into the picture.
For delaying the game.
And you see the first warning. There are no illegal defenses having been called in this ball game. Rhea Lubit is not being replaced by Kaidik, so they go back to the smaller lineup. But the quicker one, the one that even gave them the lead in the 3rd quarter.
Right. The Ice Cream Kings were able to establish a 4-point lead at 89-85 earlier. Now they're behind by 4. Andy de Guzman makes it 6.
He had 14 at the end of the first half. Didn't get that much playing time in the second half. But coming in now and pumping in 4 points.
Has a total of 20, as he also scored 2 points in the 3rd quarter. Esplana spots Collins inside. No go on the shot, and Henderson is fouled from behind by Abe King. His 5th personal, and they are in the penalty, so 2 shots. will be awarded David Henderson. Here's how it happened.
Grabbing Henderson in that play. Being in the penalty, Henderson will go to the free throw line. Makes the first free throw to improve their lead to 7 right now, 113 to 106.
3:33 remaining in the ball game. Don't forget, our main game will feature the Pure Foods TJ hot dogs going up against Shell Rimula X.
Henderson with a great performance tonight, as we mentioned earlier, all around.
By the way, as is our wont, we're going to be giving out a Jollibee Best Player Award at the end of the game. Oh, good handoff by Meneses to the cutting Jerry Esplana.
And it's 114-108. Still a long way to go here with 3:10 left. The end game of this very exciting first match.
None of the sellout crowd that have trooped to the Coliseum has bothered to leave because of the action that we're seeing in the very first game. And as we usually say on Vilma, this is only the beginning, folks. Only the beginning.
3-point shot here by Henderson, forced, and we'll have an over-the-back foul on Tanuan.
2:53 to go. Here the fourth quarter. Fifth personal on Jack Tanuan. And as we said, both squads already in penalty situation. So 2 gift shots will be given. And it will be Derwin Tank Collins, the shortest import so far here in the league for 1992, standing at 6'2" and 5/8. Having some problems getting the ball to drop from everywhere.
And they need every point they can get right now. They're trying to catch up. They're down by 6. He seems to be tired. May never have played so many minutes in his life in one ball game.
That's true. And trying to impress not only the fans, but of course the management and coaching staff of this team. The pitch to Al Suarez, 3-on-3. Terry Saldana spots Jack Tanuan all alone. Saldana going ahead for that rebound, picked up by De Guzman. Oh.
Should have held the ball and bring it out. That gives an opportunity for the Presto team to call a timeout.
Timeout, Presto Ice Cream King.
Are the Binges here in the last two and a half minutes as they try to come back from a 6-point lead.
Well, they've got 2 scoring machines on the hard court in the persons of Alan Kaidik and Vergel Meneses.
Kaidik is being watched by David Henderson, who's giving him a hard time. Kaidik shoots a 3-pointer, however, and the lead is cut down into half.
Alan Kaidik says, no problem for me, Henderson. He's got 7 in the can as far as 3-point shots are concerned. And Kaidik has a total of 38. Andy De Guzman getting inside, high flying drive and a loose ball foul on the rebound play. Referee Maglaya will call it on Andy De Guzman, who is writhing in pain.
Might have to have a sprained ankle there.
Might have landed badly on that right foot. And we're going to have a 30-second injury timeout.
6 fouls.
Oh, that's a 6th personal foul as well, so he's out of it on personal fouls.
What happened to him here? He really had to sky in the air to get a shot off. He landed in the foot of Kaidik, who now goes after the ball, and that causes the sprain to come in for De Guzman. Lead is down to 3. Both teams are in the penalty. The Swifts have 3 timeouts left. The Tibulis have 2 in the end game. With 2:01 left, it's going to be a close match here. 114-112 right now.
It's as close as it can get. Well, there's a momentary lull here as Andy De Guzman is still on the other end of the court on the floor.
And he has to be helped out. Rudy Distrito was the designated player to come in for the fouled out Andy De Guzman, who's trying to backpedal his way back to his bench, no? Now being helped out by some of his teammates, led by Yoyo Villamin, who is still not ready to see action, although he's in uniform.
Yes, he has not seen action in this ball game. Allen made the first free throw.
Alan has pumped in 5 straight points.
And we have a timeout called by Yang Giao.
Scored for about a minute now. No?
And we're going to the last 2 minutes of the ball game. Brought to you by Emperador Brandy. Enjoy it like a king.
Both teams are in the penalty situation. Henderson getting the handoff pass.
This 3-point shot is not going to go. Collins high up for the rebound.
Okay, the Kibulis have momentum on their side now, although they're still down by 1.
And the Mighty Meaties still in that vacuum of not being able to score here at the end game. Here's scored by Henderson. He completes it against Hale. Henderson trying to get the pass off, but Abe King was right there.
Foul King.
And King fouls out.
King, 6 fouls.
Only a minute and 22 remaining. David Henderson certainly had to work hard to try and keep that ball alive for his team. What with the harassing tactics on him by Abe King.
Maria Lubit being sent back into the ball game for the disqualified Abe King, who played well. No? Henderson getting ready for 2 free throws.
114 to 113 is the count in favor of the Swift Mighty Meaties. Henderson finally getting them out of that score. 12 out of 14 by Henderson from the free throw line.
It's not bad at all.
Yes. Well, Henderson has shown that he is a no-nonsense player.
And that gives them a 3-point lead. Kibulis with Collins ready to attack. You could see it coming and gets the 2 points very quickly.
And we have a timeout by Swift.
That's not the way to play defense, especially when you do not have a safe and commanding lead. And obviously Yang Giao was not happy with that. He also called a timeout to regroup them for this offensive play. They're still on top by 1. Collins putting a lot of pressure on Henderson, who cannot seem to get the ball.
Jack Tanoan has it against Zaldiri Alubit. Following jumper from the flag won't go. Nobody there for Swift. And the Ice Cream Kings have the opportunity for a go-ahead basket here. Alakaidik open to the outside. Bothered a bit by Henderson, but Esplana gets the offensive rebound. Tight pass inside to Collins.
And a foul here by Rudy Distrito, although they are in the penalty, so that will mean free throws here for Collins. Now see, Collins, it became a 4-on-5 situation because of the fact that Henderson was still sitting on the floor after the fall there as he tried to block the shot of Kaidik. And now Collins at the free throw line.
Only 38 seconds remaining. Collins 7 out of 11 from the line tonight.
It's a very important one. He had missed 2 earlier in a row. That ties the ball game at 116 all. And that will take a lot of pressure out of his second free throw. A wet spot where Henderson slid is being wiped out now.
Well, definitely these free throws are the more difficult ones to convert, especially with the sellout crowd yelling. Collins puts Presto ahead, and we have a timeout by Yang Giao.
Then Rudy Distrito, and then Solis when he comes into the play. These are the guys who are willing to take last-second shots. Important shots such as this. So Collins has been doing a great job at denying Henderson. Finally, Henderson gets the ball. So these are the 3 players I think you have to look forward. Who's going to go to the...
Traveling is strong on Henderson as he lost his balance.
And that will nullify his shot. 29 seconds left. Now there's a 25-second shot clock. Swifts do not need to foul. What they got to do is play good defense, and they may get a chance to get the ball back.
The Ice Cream Kings of Presto are in the lead by 1 point. Only 17 seconds remaining in the ball game. Meneses at the outside. Alan Kaidik gets in. Big shot is good with a foul.
What a game by Alan Kaidik. I think 42 points.
That's right.
He has a 3-point play coming up right now as Tanuan fouls out of this ball game. Kaidik going to the the basket a little bit too early, but the confidence level is so high for him. He knew he could make the shot or fish for a foul, and he got it. So if he can put this one in, it will probably almost ice the game, although there's still 11 seconds. Now, there are no more timeouts left for Yang Giao, so off a conversion or a miss, they've got to attack. That's all. No?
Now, the Presto Ice Cream Kings are in the lead by 3 with Alan Kaidik at the line.
You can say that if the Tibulis win this one, it's a come-from-behind victory.
Oh, yes, it is.
So 11 seconds to make up 4 points, no?
Here's Al Solis trying to rush up the front court. Tap out by Jerry Esplana. 6 seconds to go.
And the Tibulis, well, Henderson will shoot a 3-point shot. Miss.
Only 3 seconds remaining. Jimmy Mariano calls a timeout. We're in for an action-packed season here.
Fuentes has been sent into the ball game to do the inbounding here. They're trying to get a veteran in there.
Coming out of the formation. Here's Collins. Bounce pass, and he just hugs the ball. But a foul is given up
By Henderson.
That will only be the
Henderson.
second personal foul on David Henderson. And there is only 1 second remaining. Tank Collins will go to the line. Well, definitely the Swift Mighty Meanies just found themselves in limbo here in the end game. They've been outscored in the last couple of minutes of the game.
Remember, with they had a 6-point lead with 2.5 minutes left. And through Alan Kaidik's 3-point shot, 2 free throws, and another 3-point play, the Tibulis have come back. No? But just telling him, miss the shot, hit the ring. That's all that's needed. That's it.
And the game goes. First game of the season goes to the Presto Ice Cream Kings. And as usual, we'll have our Jollibee best.
So guys, it's a come from behind victory by Presto, 120 to 118. Maganda po ang nilaro ng team namin nung second half. Nag-pick up na po yung game ni Tank Collins kahit na nag-struggle siya sa fouls. Tapos po, maganda nilaro ng aming rookie na si Vergel Meneses. Naka-score siya ng 21 points. Bali, maganda po ang nilaro ni Abe, ni Saldi, si Onchi, si Jerry, at saka si Arnie. Lahat po kami, maski po ako, nagtulong-tulong kami para matalo po namin yung Swift Mighty Meanies na napakagaling ng import na very prolific scorer. Si Henderson, naka 48 points yata siya. Samantalang yung import namin, si Tank Collins, athletic na import, naka mga 27 points lang po ang na-score niya. But dahil nga marami ang nag-contribute, maganda rin po ang nilaro ko, kaya po kami nanalo. A little trivia lang po, ito pong 1992 was the last year of Presto sa PBA. Bali, at the end of the season, nag-disband na po ito, and eventually, nabili po ng Santa Lucia yung franchise ng Presto Ice Cream. So, yun po. Sana nag-enjoy kayo guys at maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga suporta nyo and see you sa next one.